Hey everybody, Todd here. Welcome back to another Wellness Talks Brief. What is cognitive fusion? Well, in brief, cognitive fusion is when you are aligned to a particular thought, a rule, an orientation, a belief, an automatic response, and you're unaware that you're fused to the notion. In other words, you're proceeding as if that thought, that belief, that memory is 100% absolutely true. How is this a bad thing? Well, if we are that firmly attached to the idea, there is no room, there's no flexibility, there's no room for adjustment. It's extremely rigid. Now, in some situations, I would bet in a lot of situations when we're dealing with the outside world and things that need to get done, like the job that needs to get done, it's good to have a stronger framework that you want to proceed through in order to be successful when it comes to those things. However, even with projects, if we are too rigid and there's no compromising, it often doesn't end the way that we hoped. It doesn't end well. Now, you may get lucky. It may work for you some of the time, and then of course that becomes a behaviorally conditioned or a reinforced behavior that we'll do without thinking about it. Again, cognitive fusion. That's how we came up with these things in the first place. Cognitive fusion is a thought, a memory, a rule, and a tool that we adhere to, and we have hundreds, if not thousands, of these running in the background. So here's a great example. Often in working with a parent or with a child, I will get this particular piece or this particular rule will come up. Family first. In other words, what that unconscious rule running in the background dictates is that family always comes first. But that's actually not always the case. So the cognitive fusion would be the belief, the unconscious belief, that this is how I should proceed no matter what. What if you're in a situation where a parent, a sibling, a friend, family member is being abusive, is just not listening, or has their own standards and you're not living up to them? Does that mean that you're supposed to sacrifice everything, your health, your happiness, in order to appeal to them? This rule would dictate so. So in this situation, as in many other situations like this, cognitive fusion is again just simply a rule or a tool running in the background, which dictates that this is what absolutely must be done here. No exceptions. So this is why as an ACT therapist, I would introduce something like diffusion or cognitive diffusion, where you actually put the rule out there. You write the rule down in front of you. Oftentimes I even stop my patient and say, hey, did you realize you keep saying family first, and usually in many more words, but I'm gonna boil it down for you. Family first, would you say that this is the rule that you follow? And they'll be like, oh yeah. I'm like, well, is this where a lot of the conflict is coming from? And then more importantly, does it line up to the values, to your personal values? So cognitive fusion is simply being stuck in a belief as if it's 100% true. And then therefore, diffusion would be pulling these cognitive fused programs up into your consciousness so you can actually see them and observe them, so that you can choose whether or not this particular rule is useful right now when it matters most, and does it line up with my values? In learning how to identify these things and knowing that we are cognitively fused a great deal of the time, we begin to give ourselves a sense of freedom and personal direction that may not otherwise be available to us. I hope you found this useful, and may you be well.